Finland is up next in the Pro World Rally Championship for 2001, and in my playthrough of the game at least, Citroën now has a 27-point lead over Ford, and Mitsubishi looks to be securing third position in the Constructors. Meanwhile, the bottom three are very close to one another, so all will be revealed as we now head for Finland. And move on to another cutscene, because I'm actually showing these now for the second half.
Finland is the fastest rally of them all. The 1000 Lakes is more of a sprint than a marathon, like a Grand Prix on gravel. The challenge for drivers is handling the undulating bumps or yumps that rise out of the road. They litter every stage of the rally, so it's no surprise that only a handful of foreigners have ever come first. You don't have to be Finnish to win here, but it helps.
I'm pretty sure there are plenty of WRC legends who are ironically Finnish. Tommi Mäkinen, of course, is the most notable one. There is also Juha Kankkunen as well. And another one I can think of who was very good was, of course, well, Hannu Mikkola, who won the championship in the early 80s with, I think it was Audi if I'm not mistaken. Anyway, let's head on to Finland, and where I'm pretty sure this will be where my win streak ends again, because I barely won here in the normal championship last time. Anyway, let's go. With stage 1 in Neste Rally Finland.
3, 2, 1, go! Into left 2, 50, right 4.
Yeah, if you want to know the real reason why I chose to start revealing the cutscenes now, it's well because we're heading towards the... When we head towards the second half of the championship, we're basically heading towards the closing stages of the game, and well, I figured, for want of a better phrase, it would be helpful for me to show you the other cutscenes for the second half of the championship, and as expected, well, the Finns are running well. And I obviously don't refer, of course, to the Dolphins, to anyone who might be confused. I refer to the Scandinavian Finns, not the Miami Finns. And also, yes, I did of course give a notable mention to the Miami Dolphins. Well, this time at least I seem to be running well, regardless of whatever it was I said before. I should also mention, we do actually get in rather interesting challenge mode to come after the championship is done, especially since I am trying to at least get the championship done before the end of the year, since that is my main goal, but whether or not I'll get through the WRC challenge modes and whatever else is left in the game, well, that remains to be seen. Well, at this time, that still remains to be seen. And because Finland is practically so fast compared to most other rallies, you definitely have to be pretty good at these roads, and that's typically where the Finns will take advantage of this, because, believe it or not, there are plenty of racing legends who are Finnish. And outside of the WRC, there is also the likes of, well, if you're talking in terms of Formula 1, there is the likes of Mika Hakkinen, Keke Rosberg, and of course, one of my personal favourite F1 drivers, Kimi Räikkönen. Fair to say that Finland is definitely a country for legends. And I beat Marcus Gronholm to the line by a second. However, I'm pretty sure that will not last, because I barely won out here last time over, I think it was Tommi Mäkinen, if I recall correctly. It was either Tommy or Marcus who I beat to the line. Unfortunately, since I'm not streaming this, there's no way for me to know for sure as I'm recording this. So, that was Stage 1 of Rally Finland. And as I would have expected, 3 Finns are definitely running well at the moment, with Carlos Sainz in P5 and Richard Burns in P6. And Didier Auriol was best of the rest in the leading Peugeot. And of course, everyone is still running because, well, the did not finish mechanism is, as I said before, not going to be present until WRC2 Extreme, which at some point I will no doubt be playing through. Either next year or certainly the year after, and I know it's going to be a hard one as well. So, 1.1 second lead over Marcus Gronholm after one stage. Harry Rovanperä is P3, so got 2 Peugeots inside the top 3. Then we got Tommi Mäkinen 4th, Carlos Sainz 5th, and Richard Burns in P6. And as I said before, Didier Auriol is currently running best of the rest in the 3rd Peugeot. And the 4th Peugeot is running in P18. Okay, on now to Stage 2. And I bogged down on the launch again. Well, not really surprising when you're in manual transmission and you basically have to upshift in order to get the car moving. I'm honestly not surprised to say that my car bogged down off the launch, because it basically was an uphill start anyway. Plus, even if I had given it a steady amount of revs when I was lifting the clutch, I think the outcome would have been the same, because, well, when it comes to launching off the line, the auto-launch mechanism isn't a thing until we get to WRC2. And I have told you before that it is going to be a pretty hard-fought playthrough, from what I know with playthroughs I've seen before, and where the margins have been pretty tight. But either way, I think I should be okay, because I more or less know what it is I need to do. So, gaining some reasonable time at the moment, and I was not expecting myself to gain as much time as I seem to be gaining now. I think it's actually helping me. So, got a 6.7 second lead over Marcus Gronholm, and I really was not expecting myself to have this much of an advantage early on. I was honestly expecting myself to be just behind the Finns here, but nonetheless, I'm finding a way to hold on to my lead. And that's a good thing for now, because I will certainly need it.
100 left 4.
Still, I was not expecting myself to be leading the rally by this much early on.
50 left 2.
It's definitely one thing that has surprised me at this stage.
Into left 3.
So I think it's fair to say that my car is pretty well hooked up
And finish.
to these gravel roads. And I lose the stage in the end. Well, I knew it wasn't going to last. I kind of knew one of the Finns was going to pick up at least a second or two in that final sector. Oh well, let's just move on to stage 3. I should also mention the soundtrack for this game is actually quite an interesting one, in terms of the songs they have playing in the replays. Mostly they're rock songs, but there is also the occasional electro song as well. Am I still in the lead? Okay, I'm still in the lead. So, Marcus Gronholm wins stage 2 over me and Harry Rovenpera, so a 1-3 for the Peugeots. Then Tommy Mäkinen is P4, followed by Carlos Sainz and Didier Auriol. I'm still ahead of both my championship rivals, which is where I need to be. And Colin McRae is currently best of the rest. And these are the other standings. Okay, so still leading the rally at the moment, but I don't think I'm going to hold on long enough to secure the win. I think the Peugeot this time around seems to be faster than me, and I can see that being the case where I will lose the lead at some point. But you know what? I'm honestly inclined to accept it at this point, because I don't really feel like there's any shame in admitting when you've lost.
3, 2,
Alright, stage 3.
go. 50 right 2.
Let's see.
Left 2.
Let's see how we can manage. Hopefully we can manage to pick this up rather well.
And left 1, caution, over jump. 50 over crest, into left
And
2. 50 over crest,
I'm barely leading the rally at this stage.
over crest.
I wouldn't expect myself to beat the Finns this time around,
50
even though I do have a 3-second lead to start with, but
into left
I don't
4.
think it's going to stay that way because, well, I've already choked away my advantage by running off onto the grass.
50 handed left,
But again, I've said this before and I will say it again, but
50 over
when it comes
crest, right 1 and
to being
left 3,
a serial
over crest.
winner and
50
having
right
to admit when there are certain battles you will lose, I personally think there's no shame in that. And I did not lose much time at all, and now I've lost all the time, as I've run straight into the trees.
Caution, over jump. 50, right 5.
So I think this is going to be where I hand the lead of the rally over to Gronholm, because he did seem to more or less have the
Right 1. 50.
stronger car here than me. Plus, at the moment, doesn't really help to say that I'm currently all over the place, even though I am somehow still leading the stage. Although I don't think I'm going to hold on to that for much longer,
Into right 2.
unless I can somehow manage to... Nope, not again. Ah, god damn it. I'm pretty sure I ran into that hut once before. Unless it's a house. I think it's probably a house.
Left 5.
But yeah, I definitely ran into that house once before. And believe it or not, that house has claimed me again.
50,
I have been claimed as a double victim to that house. And yep, I've definitely lost the rally lead now. Although, I kind of was predicting this was where I would lose again, but again, because I have such an unassailable lead at this point, I don't really care about losing in Finland. I think Finland is definitely hell to drive through when you get down to it. And it is fair to say that I've had my fair share of lucky breaks up to this point. And what's it going to be? Okay, P4. Well, at least I finished behind 3 of the Finns. I think I'll drop down to either P2 or P3. Anyway, I don't really care because I do have such a big lead up at the top, it really doesn't make that much of a difference to me, personally. So that was stage 3 of Rally Finland. And you know what? I think I'll leave it till the final stage to save the replay. Oh, it was Tommy Mäkinen who won the stage in the end in the Mitsubishi. So Tommy finishes P1, Marcus P2, and Harry in P3, with me P4, Carlos P5, and Richard Burns in P6. And Didier Auriol finishing best of the rest in the second Peugeot. Sorry, the third Peugeot. I keep getting confused for some reason. Okay, so Marcus now leads the rally for the first time, as I expected. So, I don't think it really matters if I lose this rally, because I've already won here in Finland once before. And Tommy now moves up to P3, with Harry P4, Carlos P5, and Burnsy in P6. And Didier currently running best of the rest, with Alistair McRae currently having a good run as well inside the top 10, ahead of the other two Fords. There's the other 3 Subarus, and there is the bottom 5. And now we move on to the wet stage. Valkolla. I hope I said that right. Okay, let's go. And it's wet, which means things are only going to go from bad to worse. If I get this wrong. But then again, I did win Finland once before, so I don't think there's really any shame in admitting when I've lost fair and square. I know there's always going to be someone faster than me. And, well, when you've been doing gaming for as many years as I have, you eventually start to become used to the fact that there will always be someone better than you. And I can assure you that I am far from one of the best gamers in the world. I'm definitely not someone who likes chasing records. And I certainly don't intend to break any gaming records anytime soon. I guess you could say I'm kind of like Joseph Kittinger in a way. I mean, even though there are certain records that might have my name on it, I honestly don't really give a damn about the records, to paraphrase Joe Kittinger himself. And basically, what I more or less say is that, personally, I'm honestly just glad to complete my mission. That's more or less the one thing I care the most about. Just making sure that I reach the end. And also getting some favourable results if possible as well, which is another good thing. Yeah, something tells me Gronholm is gonna more or less waltz away with the win here. I think my odds of winning now are pretty much rescinded. Is that the right word? I think it's rescinded, but I don't think it's the correct terminology to use. Well, my odds of winning have pretty much been... I guess you could say... I think the word is erased. And I think the simple reason for that as well, because I think the Peugeot just has a bit more pace than me at this time. And it looks like he's going to walk away with the rally win the way I see things. Of course, I was fortunate enough to win here last time round in the Hyundai, but it wasn't by much when I did win here before. I'm honestly glad to say that I don't have to do this again afterwards. Especially if you consider all the areas where it's possible to make a mistake. Yeah, I did not like that wet stage. That wet stage was awful. I really hated that one. But at least I got to the end with a top 6 finish. So that's all I care about. So it's going to be a close one over knowing who precisely will win here in Finland, because Tommy has definitely closed... Oh, it was Marcus Gronholm who won the stage in the end. For a moment there it actually looked like Tommy might be challenging him, but I think it's fair to say that I would say Peugeot have definitely scored the win with this one by now. Yeah, they're gonna pretty much score a 1-2. You know what? I'm okay with that because I'm simply getting beaten on pure pace. And I'm not afraid to admit when I've lost. Anyway, so Marcus Gronholm wins stage 4 over Harry Rovanperä, Tommy Mäkinen 3rd, myself in 4th, Richard Burns 5th, and Didier Auriol in P6. And Colin McRae is still best of the rest in the leading Ford following that stage. Or best of the rest in stage 4, I should say. So these are the results now, as I am now 18 seconds behind Marcus Gronholm, but also less than a second behind Rovanperä. Tommy Mäkinen is down in P4 with Carlos P5 and Richard Burns in P6. So whatever happens in this last stage, it's gonna be very anticlimactic over who gets the results and who doesn't. So Colin, as a result of him finishing 7th in that previous stage, now moves up to P8. And Alistair McRae is having a surprisingly good run in P9 as well, even though he's not scoring any points, unfortunately. And these are the rest of the results. Okay, final stage of Rally Finland. And it is Kuol 2. I hope I said that right. Anyway, let's move on.
Three, two, one, go!
Let's see how far up the field I can finish here in Finland. Is it going to be P3 or P4? I would honestly be hoping for P3, but I don't think that's realistically possible. even though at the moment at least, I'm running pretty good.
Over jump.
And I do have a few seconds over Tommy Mäkinen. How the fuck did that happen?
Caution. Over jump.
I have no idea what I hit, but something definitely just stopped me dead in the road.
50, left 2. Tighten.
I swear to God, if that literally costs me P4, I am honestly gonna be livid.
50, caution. Over
Okay,
jump.
well, it didn't lose me too much time.
50,
I'm still ahead of Tommy at least, so
50, caution. Over jump.
I'd say P3
Crest.
will hopefully be secured by the end of this.
Over jump. 50,
But still,
over
whatever it was that stopped me dead in the road,
50, left
it was
3.
completely invisible.
Crest. Into long right 3.
And now Tommy is at the front, so it looks as though
Into
I'm gonna have to make sure I beat Roven Power in this stage by at least a second.
left 4. 50, caution.
If I can manage to do that, then I think I should be okay.
50, caution. Over jump.
And
50,
it doesn't look
over
like
crest.
that's going to be possible,
Left
so
5.
I could very well drop down to 4th here. If I'm not quick enough,
Over crest. Into left 2.
because this stage is not serving me
Left
well
2.
at this time.
And finish.
Well, we'll wait and see what happens. Is that going to be enough for P3? I'll honestly be amazed if it is. I'm convinced in saying I finished P3, but we'll wait and see. Okay, let's have a look at the final results. And because that was a short stage, I am going to save the replay, because I might as well. And because I've recorded my previous replays as well. Okay. I don't know why that error occurred. I guess it just happens from time to time. Oh well. Anyway. Is that going to be enough for P3? Oh, it's enough for P2. Wait, hold on. I was less than a second behind Roven Power heading into the stage, and Tommy was, I think, less than 2 seconds behind me heading into the stage. Oh, must have been 3 seconds. I was ahead of Tommy then. So, these are the correct results. So Tommy Mäkinen wins the final stage with me coming home strong with P2, 2 seconds behind Tommy. Marcus Gronholm, the Rally Finland winner, comes home P3. Harry Rovenpera in P4, Carlos Sainz P5, and Richard Burns in P6. With Didier Auriol finishing best of the rest in the Peugeot. And Alistair McRae came home P8 in that stage. So he was only a few seconds behind the top 6, which is rather surprising. Although I guess it might be because of that pace I had prior to the Pro Championship. There is the bottom 3 rounded off by Toshihiro Arai. So Marcus Gronholm wins round 9, with me just holding on to P2 over Tommy, who finishes 3rd, Harry Rovenpera in 4th, then my other championship rival, Carlos Sainz in P5, and Richard Burns finished P6, 7 seconds clear of Didier Auriol in the Peugeot. Then Colin finished in P9 with his brother Colin finished P8 with brother Alistair in P9, and Francois Delacour rounds off the top 10 with Marco Martin and Kenneth Eriksson completing the top 12. And then we have these 6 guys, and as ever we have the bottom 3, being this time Piero Liatti, Armin Schwartz, and Jesus Puras. So 82 points now, as I further increase my lead now to 45 points over Carlos. Tommy now moves to within 1 point of Carlos, and Marcus Gronholm now moves up into P5 as a result of him winning, and Colin McRae's point streak ends as he now drops down to P6. And I don't think we had any new drivers on the board, if I'm not mistaken. And no, we didn't. Okay. So these are the point standings now after 9 rounds. 82 points to Citroën, 53 points to Ford, 45 points to Mitsubishi, with 27 points to Subaru, and now a well clear 16-point award to Peugeot now, who have more or less secured P5 at this point. So Citroën P1, Ford P2, Mitsubishi is P3, then Subaru still in P4, and Peugeot, as a result of them winning here in Finland, they have now pretty much secured P5. And the bottom two are Skoda and Hyundai. 9 rounds down, and still 5 to go. Let's now move on to New Zealand. Next time on World Rally Championship 01.